When did you get someone arrested at their own party? It happened when my neighbor Blake threw his housewarming party that was actually a cover for selling drugs to college students. Blake had moved in next door 6 months earlier. At first, he seemed like a normal guy in his late 20s. Worked from home, kept to himself, no obvious problems. But things started getting weird around month 3. Blake began having parties every Friday and Saturday night. These weren't normal social gatherings. They followed a specific pattern that made me suspicious. Cars would arrive in waves, people would stay exactly 15 to 20 minutes, then leave. No music, no loud conversations, no typical party sounds, just a constant stream of young people making quick visits. I started paying closer attention. The visitors were clearly college-aged kids, mostly looking nervous or anxious. They'd knock on Blake's door, go inside briefly, then leave quickly while looking around to see if anyone was watching. This wasn't socializing, this was business. The final clue came when I overheard Blake on his phone in his backyard. "Yeah, I'll have the usual stuff available Friday night. Tell your friends. Same prices as always." Blake was dealing drugs out of his house, using parties as cover. I called the police non-emergency line to report suspicious activity. Officer Davis took my information and said they'd look into it. "Drug dealing complaints require evidence," he explained. "We'll need to observe the activity ourselves or get reports from multiple neighbors." I talked to Mrs. Chen on the other side of Blake's house. She'd noticed the same strange traffic patterns but hadn't connected it to drug dealing. "Those young people look so worried when they come and go," she said. "I thought Blake was maybe a tutor or something." We both agreed to document the suspicious activity. For 2 weeks, we kept logs of arrival times, license plates, and descriptions of visitors. The pattern was unmistakable. Friday and Saturday nights, 6:11 p.m., constant stream of nervous college kids making brief visits. Officer Davis reviewed our documentation and agreed it looked like drug dealing. "We'll set up surveillance for this Friday's party." Friday night arrived. Blake had apparently advertised this one as a bigger event, housewarming party, according to a text I overheard him sending. The police positioned unmarked cars where they could observe Blake's front door. I watched from my living room window as the usual parade of young visitors began around 6 p.m., but this time, undercover officers were mixed in with the real customers. Around 8 p.m., 2 young-looking officers knocked on Blake's door. They were inside for about 10 minutes, long enough to make a controlled purchase and gather evidence. At 8:30 p.m., more police cars arrived. This time, they weren't hiding. Officers knocked on Blake's door and announced themselves. Blake answered, looking confused and nervous. "We have a warrant to search these premises for illegal drug activity." Blake's face went white. "This is just a party. These are my friends." "Your friends who visit for exactly 15 minutes and leave? Your friends who you sell drugs to?" The search revealed exactly what everyone expected. Blake had a full operation running, multiple types of drugs, scales, cash, customer lists with phone numbers and drug preferences. The party guests who were still inside got questioned. Several admitted they'd come to buy drugs, not socialize. A few were arrested for possession. Blake was arrested for drug dealing, maintaining a drug house, and multiple counts of distribution to minors. Turned out many of his customers were under 21. The bust made local news. Suburban drug house disguised as social gatherings shut down by police. Blake's mugshot was on the front page of our community newspaper. Blake tried claiming he was just having friends over and didn't know why police thought it was drug-related, but the evidence was overwhelming. Scales, baggies, customer lists, cash, and testimony from multiple buyers. During his court case, I testified about the suspicious activity patterns Mrs. Chen and I had documented. The prosecutor said our neighbor reports were crucial for establishing probable cause. Blake was convicted and sentenced to 3 years in prison. His house was seized under drug forfeiture laws since he'd been using it for criminal activity. The house sat empty for months before being sold at auction. The new owners are a quiet, retired couple who actually have normal social gatherings. Mrs. Chen thanked me for taking action. Those young people coming and going looked so troubled. I'm glad we helped stop whatever was hurting them. Blake thought he was clever using fake parties to cover drug deals. Instead, his housewarming party became his arrest party, with police as the surprise guests. Sometimes the most suspicious thing about a party is when it doesn't actually look like a party.